Hello, everybody. This is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners, and here's my weekly update on my sample trading portfolio coming up next. Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another week in my episode. It's relatively quiet this week, nothing much to update really. It's just the market is going up and down, up and down. Last week is more about the down week. This week is a much better week. And just recover a bit, but Dow Jones not seems to be going anywhere. Still below the 29,000 we tried to break a couple of weeks ago. It don't seem to have that much of an effect. Gold is very disappointing as well, even with sudden downturn with the share price, and gold seems to just struggling to stay back above 1920 area. In my view, it's still just a sell at the moment, but who knows? Just watch this space. The price at the moment seems up and down at the moment. The other thing is surprising is J.P. Morgan's and Goldman Sachs reports profit seems to be in line expectation, but the market then go up because we saw that or something or use whatever news it is to try to go up. But ask yourself maybe a question, say when compared to last year's same term and same quarter result, how was the actually result come out? I mean, it's not that great anyway, but it's still in line with people's expectations, general expectations. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just nothing to celebrate about. But the market obviously just use it to move the market up and down, and just as usual. The market news seems to be just telling one thing when the other market is doing totally different things. Like the general economy, in my view, that in UK anyway, the new lockdowns were announced on Wednesday, and just more there are 3 tiers of different rated of coronavirus effect around UK at the moment, and how the local lockdown may be applied to try to restrict the spread of the virus. But that means more pain for local government, shops and stuff that, like, in some of the towns and cities in UK had to be closed for about 2 weeks or something. It's just not nice at all. Basically, so it's just going quite bad for the economy in general in UK, but I'm sure it's around the world similar things. So at the moment, what we see is the Asia seems to recover better, especially China is talking about they might have 1 or 2%. IMF projections say they might have 1 or 2% of increase in growth, but for the rest of the world, more or less, it's minus territory. In UK, it's more like minus 8 or 9. And similar to US, that kind of area as well. So it's not great for other areas. So it just generally that's what is happening at the moment. Market is up and down at the moment, but the main news is no news this week basically, and everybody's waiting for the election, which happened to be in about 3 weeks time or so. And I say the market is going to be volatile up and down a bit, essentially just going sideways most of the time. Up 1 minute, down in a minute. So just hold fire basically. So everything just waiting for the election and see how it goes. I mean, I still have a view of Donald Trump probably will come through, but probably will be quite going through some sort of battles, like going to the final court to basically decide who is the president kind of thing, because he's definitely, if he go lose small, he's definitely going to Donald Trump's going to say foul play because of the postal vote or something. It was a big gap then, big differences then, there's nothing much you can say. But I think there's probably last minute push by Donald Trump try to get himself back to the election. But this is one of the reasons why I think the market is still up. 29,000. Just there about around the area. The highest was about 29,500, 700 just before the pandemic. So even with the pandemic big hua happened middle of the year, there wasn't much difference basically in the stock market for the year. So overall, I mean, if you judge him on the stock market this year, with the big virus coming around, the market didn't do too bad. just lost couple of thousand pounds or so thereabout. That's nothing much for a year, just down a little bit. So he covers well. So with the last push, we've still got what October now, 2 more months to end of the year. Dow Jones might still make it up for the year. So just like any election years, Dow Jones normally make the positive end for the year. But who knows about next year as well, 2021, when somebody's in the White House. So it's either Donald Trump or Biden. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. And the next year when I suppose either there's more stimulus coming from U.S. government or from UK around the world to help people who are being forlorn or lockdown situations and how to save the business and stuff. Economy is definitely going to show its statistics. Basically, the stock market can ignore it for a while, maybe a year, but then it has to get back to fundamental, just like Warren Buffett said. At the end of the day, for long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. If you're basically not making money, and how you're going to continue with a high stock market valuation is just gonna be beyond me. So I personally feel next year we see quite a lot of bad news coming out. But for now, basically everybody is eyeing the Donald Trump's see if he can re-elect or not. And for me personally, I think this couple of weeks, like I said before as well, has been quite a good time for the day trader, so to speak. I'm not a day trader, but the fluctuation, up, down, 200-300 points here and there is quite a bit, a lot of places. And who knows what might happen next. I mean, also a couple of weeks ago, we reported the CME in US, changing its overnight sort of the band, the band of fluctuation from ±5% to ±7%. So they sort of CME themselves is expecting there's quite a bit of volatility. So comes election night in about 3 weeks' time or so. Then will be quite a lot of fluctuation going to happen. So the market themselves just getting ready. But will the change of CME rules do anything similar to in April to the crude oil and Brent crude and things like that? Who knows? But I don't think CME changed the rules like this for fun. They must be something might be going on. So better watch out. But for the day traders, I think they continue to have heydays for the last couple of weeks. But for trend following, it's very much like nothing much happens. It's very much of a sideways trade, up and down 1,000, 2,000 points, so to speak. Nothing much have changed shape. So relatively boring. But this is a time to actually be careful when things are boring. Suddenly, if you don't look at the market, suddenly the market just go either way, up or down. And if you don't watch the market closely, at least on a daily basis, then something happens, something moved, and you probably missed the boat. So watch out. And that's all basically for this week. And next is my update of my portfolio. Okay, first off the bat is Apple. This week short term is changed to buy now, and short term is buy, so medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. So a bit of fluctuation, move up and down with market sort of showing up in Apple as well. Next is Amazon. Short term is buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. This is just the same as last week, nothing much there. The other thing is a Australian dollar against US dollar. This one have changed now. Last week is buy for short term, this week is sell for short term, and neutral for medium terms, and again neutral for long term as well. So this sort of I'm using that as a gauge for US dollar strength, and so US dollar index seems to be hovering around 93 at the moment, maybe go to 94, who knows, may even go 95, but we see how it goes at the moment. I think there's a bit of strength in US dollars with the election actually coming through in a couple of weeks' time, and everything just going sideways at the moment. So I think this US dollar strength is going to continue probably for a couple of weeks yet to see how things goes. And Australian dollars actually basically came down balls a bit, but still around the 0.70 mark. So it's still there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it go down to 0.69, 0.66 area, but it will just bounce back, because I just don't believe the US dollar strength is going to continue. But who knows how? At the end of the day, all we do is as trend following, we just follow the trend. The trend seems to say that US dollar strength is here at the moment. So that's what happened. US dollars when it do these things, and let's do things. So against Australian dollars is losing ground at the moment. Okay, so Australian dollars is sell short term, medium term is neutral, long term is neutral as well. Next is Brent crude. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is neutral. And next after that is WTI, the crude oil. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. So oil in general is still very much sideways trade. It had moved up, obviously from the April low, and then just try to break back above the 200-day moving average. Seems to have been, capped by that. The ceiling, the 200 days moving average line seems to be capping the bank. We'll just see how it goes. So I think the story this year, basically, obviously for crude oil, is the impact in April when it go minus. But I think next couple of years, if my analysis is correct, US dollar goes bananas, then you definitely see crude oil going up. We just have to wait and see how it goes. So keep an eye on it. Next is DAX. Short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is a neutral. Not much things happen in Europe in general, but obviously the Brexit is happening, and Germany and UK, basically Europe and UK is just not having a good time talking about Brexit strategy and stuff. So it's just basically not helping DAX in here, so it's just gone a bit of a sideways at the moment. Next is Dow Jones. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is now a buy. So Dow Jones seems to be just continuing sideways, basically, as far as I'm concerned. 29,000 seems to be a ceiling at the moment. If we broke apart that will be continue to be good strength. But essentially, this upward move at the moment is very much quite weak. So I think everybody is just waiting for the election. So we just see how it goes. Next is FTSE 100. Short term is sell, medium term is neutral, long term is neutral. Like say similar to DAX, the Brexit is basically having a effect on the FTSE 100, but also the recent lockdown. Proposed lockdown from Boris Johnson, and some towns are not, especially Manchester and Liverpool, they're not very happy about having more localized lockdown, and closing. Some of the business owners and unions and groups are sort of try to threaten the possibility of going to basically sue the government and basically say it's unlawful to close down shops and things like that, because at the end of the day, people's livelihood is in jeopardy if the shops continue to be closed, and the government support is reducing. How are they going to put food on the table? It's the same thing for America as well. So this stimulus package is really is something that will definitely help the U.S. people in general. But how much can the government help in general unless the economic start kicking in? So we just difficult to see. So on this front, on FTSE, basically, short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is also neutral. Next is gold. Short term is gold. In gold is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is also neutral. So I said before, I'm a bit disappointed with gold at the moment. It's not moving up above the 1920 areas. So for me, in my book, is according to my trend following, it's definitely a sell at the moment. We just have to wait and see how it goes. It might continue this weakness a bit more further down. We just see how it goes. Next is Hang Seng in Hong Kong. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a sell. So there's a short term rebound Hong Kong index for the last week, so to speak, but it's slowing down, not doing much at the moment. So we just basically have to wait and see what happens next on that one. Next is Nasdaq. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. Nasdaq seems to have gone back above the 12,000 mark and then come back down a little bit. So around the 12,000 a month, which is good. We covered a bit, but it's not making new highs, so we just basically see how it goes. But Nasdaq being Nasdaq, a lot of technology shares are moving the market, so to speak, and continue to have very high valuation. But I just feel at the end of the day, economic statistic will come out. People are not having a good time. In general, this is not having jobs and stuff. How they sustain, actually buy things and stuff. Yes, the internet and Amazon and Apple's helping those high flying technology stocks. But in general, the other side of the economy is not doing well. The brick and mortars are not doing well, just like UK. So I just don't know how long this Nasdaq run can continue. But at the moment, trend following, say continue just buy short term, buy then buy. Just that's how it is. So just remember to watch out your signals. If your signals say turn around, and don't buy anymore and go sell, then go. Don't get married to your position. Next is Nikkei in Japan. Short term is still a buy. Medium term has changed to neutral now. Long term is a buy. So it's going there. A bit more slow upward move, so to speak. Just continue. Not doing much at the moment, similar to US. Next is silver. Short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is also neutral. So similar to gold, just not doing much at the moment, and everybody is just expecting it to move down. One good things though, one thing to watch out, those both gold and silver. I was expected to move really high, but after Donald Trump's gone into so to say in the hospital, and when he come out, and then I expect gold supposed to drop down very quickly. So, but it doesn't seem to be. So it seems to got into a range between for gold anyway, it's like 1880, 1890 area, and the top is 1920 area, and similar to silver, just in a range at the moment. So. Personally, I feel this too should go up much higher, but the other thing is the market say no, so it didn't. But on the other hand, it didn't fail that much either, so it just gone sideways. So there's a lot of, I suppose, some forces are buying, a lot of forces trying to sell at the same time, so it goes sideways at the moment. We need just basically need the market to show its hands and show us which way it's going rather than guessing. So we just have to wait and see. But it'll definitely be disappointing in general for silver and gold at the moment. Next is the US dollar against Chinese yuan. Short term is a buy, medium and long term is a sell. So this is fluctuating at the moment, short term wise anyway. Long term is still a downtrend. So basically, Chinese yuan is strengthening against US dollars, and the fluctuation just go up and down here in short term. We just wait and see. The US dollar index definitely plays its role, but I think overall, my point of view anyway, if our analysis is correct and the market does play saying, then I would think all the foreign exchange US dollars just go down, but other countries just not not doing great either. So I mean, for like Europe and UK, they're going down. Japan's not doing well. So overall, the only bright spot, which I said before, is in Asia and especially in China. So the Chinese yuan, I think definitely will increase its strength if US dollars coming down, when the rest of the world basically, you will probably see it next year too. You see that rest of the world seems recovering, so is China, but China seems pulling ahead further, and so the Chinese yuan probably is something to keep an eye on, continue to gain its strength. So we just basically have to see what's happening next. Next is Japanese yen against US dollar against Japanese yen. Not much of a movement here. It's just same as last week. Short term is a buy, long term it's a sell, medium term is a sell. So basically, just fluctuating up and down. Very quiet, so to speak, sideways trade. Just people in general just waiting for election in US. Next is British pound against Japanese yen. Short term is a buy. Medium term is neutral, long term is a sell, and after that is British pound against US dollar. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is neutral as well. So in general, British pounds, because of COVID-19 local lockdown and the spat between basically having problem with the Brexit with the Europe, it's not going anywhere. So it's just capping the British pound. So economy in general, I think. It's definitely not good, just like America as well. But then the pound seems to strengthen because US dollar is much weaker. So short-term wise, basically, yeah, it's gone back up to the 1.31, 1.32, that kind of area, but it's not going much further. And I basically feel there's much more, downward pressure on British pounds at the moment. I mean, in general, two of the weakest currency currently I'm seeing is British pounds and US dollars. I mean, US dollar because of extra money that the Feds pump in, and I just feel that really is very negative for US dollar, but also for Britain. The UK, because I think the Brexit might be, we have to only got about 2 months or so before December, end of December. I think it's difficult to have some sort of agreement on it. UK and EU is playing, political brinkmanship until last minute to put a big white rabbit out of the hat. To have some sort of agreement, I think it's got to be probably quite a hard exit for UK. So British pounds, I personally feel is be weaker compared to Europe. So the euro as well in general is weaker. But I think British pound is even weaker on that one because it's just a lot of issue internally, because I'm based in UK myself. Probably in Europe we have something similar, but I think the weakest basically is US and British pound at the moment, and it sort of shows up in the trend basically. So just continue to see how it goes. Next is Bitcoin. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. So Bitcoin finally now broke back about the 11,000 mark, stay above there, so that's good, but it doesn't shoot up, just gone out a little bit and just stay there. So relatively uneventful. It's good that it broke back the 11,000 mark and stay above there, so it is making some sort of headway, but it's not doing much. So as if, this is just general feeling, it's just as if the whole world is waiting for the US general election result either way, and then it just go either up or down. We just go to wait and see. As far as I'm concerned, it's very boring for trend following. This is a time that you probably lose quite a bit of money, getting whipsaw, getting in and out of the market, get chopped out in and out the market because it just goes sideways. The trend is not really establishing. It's more like a day trader kind of paradise at the moment, because the fluctuations at the moment I think going to be getting worse and worse as we go closer to 4th of November, I think, or 3rd of November for the US general election, and we just have to wait and see. But for trend following, now is the time that a lot of things don't seem to be working, or it's very slow. We just have to stick with your process. Trend following, my analysis, my system say, for Bitcoin is a buy now, so stay there. That's fine, even though it's rather disappointing, not moving up much. Next is iShare 20 TLT ETF. Short term is a sell, medium and long term is neutral. So same as last week. As Dow Jones continue to stay above, or near around the 29,000 mark, people just jump out from bonds and back into shares. We just had to wait and see. Last but not least is Tesla. Short, medium term and long term is all buy at the moment. So this is the one that after Tesla, after the split, just like Apple, is more or less stay up there, but it's doing quite a bit of a sideways trade. It's not doing anything terrible at the moment. So it's like after the split, that seems to continue to make new highs. So we just have to wait and see what happens. But definitely the split, the Apple, it gave people more liquidity, I suppose, for the shares, and then people can just go in and buy them more at a cheaper price. But yes, you have been split, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, these two shares. But some reason it's not continue making headway. So I'm not sure this split is a good thing or not good share split. But definitely the momentum seems to have stalled. Both of this, Apple and Tesla, just going sideways at the moment, up and down, up and down. So we just have to wait and see if the market actually show its hands or not. I mean, in general, for me, especially, this is just my view from my experience. Now, especially volatile up and down market, it's better to use a longer term system to basically, in this case, the longer term system seems to show better result. That let the boys basically fight it out until the trend is established, then hop in, that kind of thing. But this time is also very boring, very dangerous because it's until the market actually shows its hands, you basically slowly like a frog in a boiling water, slowly cook to death because you feel that the market is so slow, nothing much happen. You take your eye off the ball and suddenly in one big move you miss it, and then that move, it might be even small moves, and then because you missed that and you didn't go back in, even though you missed it, and stick with your system, and you might lost the one of the best trade of the year. Who knows? So when things are relatively quiet, going sideways and stuff, yes, we may as trend for sustain losses, but these are precisely also time that we need to be watch out for because when the trend suddenly happens, which it can happen anywhere, and you're not on the ball and get on to the trend, you might lose some of the signals, and basically you just go in. But on the other hand, even if you lose the signals, it's 1 or 2 days too late, because we're not doing day trading, we're actually doing trend. Trend takes some time to establish, and once you establish, it takes some time to go as well. So what the other thing to take away is if you miss your signals on the data is being issued, if it's it's not gone too far, or in effect just get on with it. You just have hop on, just take the signal. Yes, you might be a bit too late, but at least you follow your signals and go and hop on board. The other thing is just use risk management to reduce your risk, so to speak, and then also the sizing as well if you're a bit too late, but never miss the signal, so to speak. And that is basically my takeaway for this week. So watch out. I know the market is kind of gone sideways a bit, but also precisely this is the time that a trend can just hop and just suddenly happen. And you just have to just slug it out, so to speak. And anyway, that's the end of my podcast this week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.